Behavior means it is a response for your internal stimuli. While purchasing the goods and services, they take a decision or action, either whether they purchase the goods or they will reject the goods. The manufacturer or the organization can analyze the consumer buying behavior under this models. Hello everyone, I am Meghana from the Department of Commerce, lecturing in Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. We are in the session 1 of Unit 5, subject Principles of Marketing. In the last session, we finished with Unit 4. In today's session, let us start with the Unit 5, that is last unit, Consumer Behavior. So in today's session, let us discuss with the introduction of consumer behavior, meaning and definition, then the consumer buying or decision making process. So let us start with today's session. Consumer buying behavior. A customer is an individual or an organization who has the purchasing power to pay his wants or needs. To consider a people as a consumer, you should have purchasing power. So you cannot consider whole population as a consumer for your product. So to consider people as a consumer, he should have purchasing power. He should have that purchasing power to pay for his needs and wants and desire to willingness to purchase your products or services. Then only you will consider the person as a consumer. So here consumer, either he may be individual or organization who has the purchasing power is considered as a consumer. So to pay for his wants and needs. The prime purpose of a customer to procure the right type of product or services that he or she or the organization is in need with due to weightage on vital factors like quality, price, convenience, after-sale service, guarantees and warranties in respect of that product or services. So the prime purpose of a customer to procure a right type of product means they consider the quality of the product, price, then convenience, after sales service, guarantee and warranty of the product. So the customer will consider all these factors while purchasing the product. You know, two words, consumer and customer. These two words has a different meaning. So usually we use consumer as well as customers in the marketing management. So what is the meaning of consumer and what is customers? So consumer means final user. Final user who consume the product or services, who use the product or services is considered as a consumer. Customer means the person who purchase the product. Either you may purchase the goods and services for your friends or relatives or for family members. So the person who purchase the goods is considered as a customer, and the person who consume the product or final user of the product is called consumers. So you have a difference between the consumer and customers. So the main objective of the organization is to analyze the behavior of consumer as well as the customer. But for the organization, consumer is more important than the customers. So because you need to satisfy the consumer. So if the consumer is satisfied, then only you can achieve your objectives. The main objective of organization is to satisfy your consumers. So the final user of your product should be satisfied with your services or goods. So this is the difference between consumer and customer. Next, behavior is a mirror in which everyone show his or her image. So here the behavior is differ from one person to another person. It is a mirror which show your image. Behavior is the process of responding to stimuli. Behavior means it is a response for your internal stimuli. Consumer behavior is to do with the activities of individual in obtaining and using the goods and services. It encompasses the decision-making process that that precedes the determining purchases. So here consumer or the behavior is the mirror for consumer or the person image. So here consumer behavior is a process of obtaining or responding for the stimuli. Here while purchasing the goods and services, consumer they respond for their needs and wants towards the goods and services. So this process is called consumer behavior. Organization has to analyze the consumer buying behavior so that they make a decision or they will get the information about the consumer needs and wants, so that according to their needs and wants, marketer or the organization can change the goods or services. Definition of consumer behavior. According to Professor Walters C.G. and Professor Paul G.W., consumer behavior is the process whereby individuals decide whether, what, when, where, how and from whom to purchase the goods and services. According to this author, consumer buying behavior is a process of whereby an individual decide whether, what, when, where, what to purchase, when to purchase and where to purchase, how and from whom to purchase. So according to him, consumer buying behavior is the process of deciding what to purchase, when to purchase and how to purchase and from whom to purchase. So this is the consumer buying behavior is a decision making process for purchasing the goods and services. According to James F., consumer behavior refers to the actions and decision process of people who purchase the goods and services for the personal consumption. So according to him, consumer buying behavior is the action and decision, the people who purchase the goods and services. So while purchasing the goods and services, they take a decision or action, either whether they purchase the goods or they will reject the goods. So the action taken by the consumers and the decision from whom to purchase, when to purchase and where to purchase. So the decision and action taken by the consumer is called consumer behavior. So every organization need to analyze and study the consumer buying behaviors. So what are the factors which influence the consumer while purchasing the goods and services, so that they make a decision or they can make a strategy to improve their business. Next, the consumer buying or decision making process. So this is the consumer buying or decision making process. Under this, the buyer or consumer decision process, how a consumer make purchase decision. It explains how the consumer make a purchase decision. Under the first step, need recognition or problem recognition. So if the consumer want to purchase the goods and services, means either he should have a need or problem. In order to solve the problem or in order to fulfill their needs, there the consumer will purchase your goods and services. So in order to fulfill the needs and wants of the consumer, as well as in order to solve their problem, they require some goods or services. Before making the decision about purchase of goods or services, first they need to analyze their needs and wants. What is the need of the consumer or their family members? They are the problems. First they need to recognize their problem or needs. After that they go for information search. So after recognizing their needs, then they'll search for information. They search for information means the goods which satisfy their needs. So they search for such goods and they collect the substitute products also. So various products are available in the market. So substitute products, they collect the information about all the products available to satisfy their needs and wants. So here they search the information or collect the information which goods have the ability to satisfy their needs and wants. After collecting the information, then they will evaluate the evaluation of alternatives. So from the available option or available products, so they are going to evaluate what is the benefit of this product and disadvantages of this product. So they are going to evaluate each and every option or alternative. So after analyzing or evaluating, then they make a purchase decision. So out of available resources or available options, which is the best product or which gives the maximum benefit for the consumers, they make a purchase decision for that product. So out of 10 products, for example, the consumer needs is to get soft drinks. So they collect the information. Here they search for information. They get 10 alternatives. So from this 10 alternatives, then you are going to evaluate the products. So they are going to evaluate all these 10 alternatives. Out of this 10, they are going to select one best results or best product which gives maximum results. For that product, they are going to make a decision for purchase. After purchasing, post-purchase evaluation. After purchasing, then consumer going to use that product. After using, whether it is satisfy the needs and wants. So it fulfill the expectations of the consumer or not. So they are going to evaluate after use. So if it is satisfied means then they are going to repeat or they are going to purchase the same product again. If it is not satisfied, then they are going to purchase other products. So that this is the process of consumer buying behavior. First they need to analyze the needs and wants, then they need to collect the information, then evaluate the alternatives. After that, select the best alternative or purchase decision. After purchase, they'll use the product and post-purchase evaluation. So then after post-purchase evaluation, then going to give feedback. So whether it is satisfied or not. So this is the consumer buying behavior process. Next concept, types of buying decision behavior. So now we just learn about the buying behavior process. Next concept is there are 4 types of buying decision behavior, consumer buying decision behavior. So it can be explained through this diagram. So here first one is high involvement, here low involvement, here few difference between the brand, significance difference between the brand. Here first one is involvement, then here is difference between the brands. So under that first one, complex buyer. In this case, involvement is also high as well as significance between the brand is also high. So they are considered as a complex buyer. First type is complex buyer. They involve more in the purchasing process as well as there is a significance difference between the brand. So they search for alternatives or they search for different brands. Here they involve themselves in the purchasing process. That means they are going to compare with the competitor's product or they are going to compare with the other product, price quality of the product, price quality and features of the product. So here both the difference among the brand as well as the involvement is also high. So they seek for the different brands as well as they involve themselves high in the purchasing process. That means they involve more in their purchasing process. They consider cost of the product, price of the product, quality of the product and features of the product. Example for this type of buying behavior is when you are going to purchase a laptop or television or any other special product, you involve more in the purchasing process as well as you will search different brands. So different brands are available in the market. So you will compare with the brands, different brands and cost, price of the product, then quality, then features of the product. Then you will make a purchase decision. So this is complex buyer. Next, variety seeking buyers. Under variety seeking buyers, the involvement is less. But you will search for different brands. Here, significant difference in the brands. So here you will search for the different brands, but your involvement in the purchasing process is less. That means you are not going to consider price of the product as well as the quality of the product. So the importance for price as well as the quality is less compared to brands. So here you will search for varieties. For example, when you are purchasing cornflakes, the person who is having a health conscious or if you want to cut down his weight means they tried for a different flavors of cornflakes. So here the involvement is less. They are not going to consider the quality and price. They least bother about the price and quality. but they search for different brands. Various brands are available in the market. So they tried one brand in first time. If it is satisfied, then regularly or again they are going to purchase the same brand, or else they try with the another brand. So here they seek varieties, variety seekers. They seek for the varieties or different brands in the second type. Third point or third type, dissonance reducing buying behavior or dissonance reducing buyers. So this is the third type of consumer buying behavior. Under this, high involvement. Degree of involvement is high, but few difference between the brand. Difference among the brand is less. That means they are not going to search for different brands, but they involve themselves more in the purchasing process. That means they give importance for the price, quality and features of the product. For example, if you are purchasing a furniture, while purchasing a furniture, they give importance for the price of the product as well as the quality of the product and features of the products rather than the brands. So various brands are available in the market, but you will not consider the brand as an important factor. Here you will consider the price of the product as well as the quality and features of the products. So this is third type, dissonance reducing buyer. Last type, habitual buyer. Here the involvement is also less. Involvement is also less, as well as the brand seeking is also less. So regularly, habitually they are going to purchase the products. So for the daily needs, so the daily need products, regularly they are going to purchase the product. Here they involve themselves in a low way. That means they know what they want. So regularly they are going to purchase the same products, as well as they are not going to consider the price as well as the quality of the product, because it is the basic needs, so that regularly they need to purchase such products. So they are not going to consider the price of the product as well as the brand also. They are not going to consider brand. For example, toothpaste, soap, daily use product, daily need products. All such products, it involves less, as well as variety seeking is also less. So these all are the types of consumer buying behavior: complex buyer, variety seeking buyer, dissonance reducing buyer, habitual buying behavior. So you have 4 types of consumer buying behavior. Next concept, consumer buying behavior models. So analyzing the consumer buying behavior is important factors in order to improve the business. So you need to analyze the consumer buying behavior. The manufacturer or the organization can analyze the consumer buying behavior under this models. So this can be classified into 2 types, traditional model and contemporary model. Under the first one, traditional model. Under traditional model, you have economic model. Under traditional model, first one is economic models. It says, according to this economic model of buying behavior, the buyer is a rational animal and his buying decision are totally governed by the concept of utility. That means concept of benefits. Stated briefly, if he has a certain amount of purchasing power, a set of needs to be met and a set of products to be choose from, he will allocate the amount over the set of products in a very rational manner with a very clear intention of maximizing the utility of the benefits. Maximum the utility of the benefits he is going to drive. It leads us to the 4 important prediction about the buying behavior. That means, according to economic model, this model says the consumer buying behavior totally depends on the consumer purchasing power as well as the concepts of utility. So the consumer will purchase the products in order to maximize their benefits. In order to maximize the benefits, they will purchase the goods and services, as well as it depends on the consumer purchasing power. So if the consumer purchasing power is high, means they can offer more quantity. If the consumer purchasing power is less, means they can offer less quantity. So buying behavior is depends on the purchasing power as well as the utility, concept of utility, that is benefit. The consumer purchase the goods and services in order to satisfy their needs and wants. If the product gives you the more benefits, if the product gives him the more benefits, they will purchase such products. The main intention is to maximize the benefits or maximum benefits with the available resources. For example, if the consumer income is 20,000 per month, means their purchasing power is 20,000 rupees. Out of this 20,000, the consumer tries to maximize the benefits with the available resources. They try to maximize the benefits with the available resources. So they allocate, they divide the amount, or they divide the money for the particular needs and wants. First, they give a preference for the basic needs. They give preference for the basic needs. After that, they come for other needs and wants. So from out of 20,000, they are going to allocate the available resources, like 10,000 for the monthly expenses and 5,000 for saving and 5,000 for luxurious items. So they are going to allocate the available resources based on their needs and wants. So the purchasing power, mainly this concept, economic model says the consumer buying behavior is mainly based on the buying behavior, purchasing power of the consumer as well as the utility. If the consumer get the maximum benefits, they try to maximize their benefits with the available resources. So this can be classified into 4 types. So you can predict in the 4 types. Under that first one, lower price of the product, the bigger the quantity that will be bought, which is generally called price effect. That means here the main concept is price of the product. If the price is reduced, means if the price is low, means the quantity purchase is high. That means, for example, rice per kg 100 rupees, means if the consumer has 1000 rupees, means they can offer 10 kilos of rice. If the price of the product is reduced for 50 rupees, means they can purchase 20 kilos. So if the price of the product, if the price reduced here, if the price reduced, the quantity will increase from 10 kgs to he can purchase 20 kgs. So the quantity will increases. If the price is reduced, quantity will increases. If the price increases, quantity will reduce. So that it is usually called as price effect. Basically, it is influenced by the price of the product. Quantity purchase will depend on the price of the product. So that it is called as a price effect. Next one, higher the purchasing power, higher will be the quantity that will bought, which is known as income effect. In this second statement, higher the purchasing power of the consumer. If the income is 20,000 in this month, April month, the consumer income is 20,000. So he can offer, quantity offer is 50 units. He can offer for 50 units. If the income of the consumer will increase to 25,000. So here then the quantity is also increased to 51 units. So if the income increases, quantity will increases. So it is influenced by income of the consumer or purchasing power of the consumer. So it is generally called as income effect. So from the income, depends on the income, it is influenced. The consumer buying behavior is influenced by the income of the consumer. So it is income effect. Next one, lower the price of the substitute product, lower the quantity will be bought of the original product, which is known as substitute effect. For example, tea and coffee. The price of tea is 10 rupee. Coffee is also 10 rupees. Original product is tea. That means you are producing tea or you are selling tea. Substitute product is coffee. So if the tea price is 10 rupees and coffee is also 10 rupees. Now the demand is usually divided. If the price of substitute product reduced, if the price is reduced to 7 rupees, the tea price will remain same, but the demand for the original product will come down. So depends on the substitute product price, your product demand will come down. So it is influenced by the substitute product price. So it is called as substitute effect. Then last one, higher the provisional expenditure, then higher the sale, which is most commonly known as communication effect. Here in this example, the consumer income is 20,000 rupees. Out of 20,000, 10,000 for the monthly expenses and 5,000 for the savings and 5,000 for the luxurious or to meet other expenses. So here you cannot touch with this saving or monthly expenses. You have to meet your expenses with this 5,000. So in this example, 20,000 is divided into 3. 10,000 and 5,000 and 5,000. This is savings, this is monthly expenses, and this is to meet the needs. So now you cannot touch this 10,000 and this 5,000. Out from this 5,000 only you need to spend to purchase the goods and services. So if the provision for the needs and wants, provision for the particular expenses, here provision for the expenditure is more, higher the provision. If the provision is high means here instead of 5,000, if you have 10,000 rupees as a provision to meet its needs and wants, so you can offer more quantity. So based on the provision for the expenditure, the quantity purchased from the consumer is also influenced. So it is called as communication effect. So here you have only 5,000. So your purchasing power is limited to 5,000 rupees. If your provision is more than 5,000, if the provision is higher, means you can offer more quantity. So it is called communication effect. So this is the 4 types we can predict the consumer purchasing power based on the 4 aspects. So basically the economic model, it says the consumer buying behavior is totally depends on the purchasing power of the consumer as well as the concept of utility. So it can be explained through this 4 points. So this is all about economic models. So under traditional model, you have 3 more models. So let us discuss the remaining models in the next class. So this is all about today's session. Let us meet in the next session. Until then, keep watching. Thank you.